Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show podcast. So today's episode is going to be a review of RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race Season 1 Episode 2. For those of you who don't know, I did do a podcast on the first episode. So if you like this podcast and want to know what my thoughts were on episode 1, I will link that at the end of this video. Do feel free to leave a comment on what you thought of my commentary for this episode. I'm always up for a little chat or a debate in the comments. And if you like what I'm saying, give this video a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. No hard feelings. So this week we've got a new set of mentors. So I'm assuming there's going to be a new set of mentors each episode. So this week we've got Alyssa Edwards. Loved her on her first season. I didn't watch the All-Star season she was on. I still need to go back and watch all of the All-Star seasons. Then we got Trinity Tuck, another favourite of mine. Loved her on her season. Loved her on All-Stars. And Asia O'Hara, another favourite of mine. I really felt for her in the final of her season when she messed up her performance. I was gutted for her because she definitely had potential to win the show. But I think in terms of them together, I feel like they worked all right. They didn't have as much chemistry as Bob and Monet Exchange had. I think as a collective choice to put them all in the episode, it worked well. But I think we kind of see them more as individuals rather than connecting with each other. They kind of spent most time with the people that they were mentoring. There was less banter and teasing this episode between the three of them. But let me know what you thought of the mentors this season. Did you like them? Did you not? Would you have preferred somebody else? Let me know. So this week, notably, the celebrities are actually women. And at first, when I saw the little section, because they repeated the whole section from last episode, them standing in front of that set, you don't really know who they are. They've got the voice disguiser. And when the mentors are sitting together, they're kind of saying female names. They're saying Paula Abdul. They're kind of giving female names as their guesses. And I was like, why are they saying female names? And then obviously you can see, you got glimpses of their bodies. You saw them in heels. I was like, is that a girl? Obviously then we cut to the workroom. We see Lonnie Love. And it's very clear this is going to be a women's drag race episode. And at first I was kind of thinking, women? How is this going to work? Are they going to be in boy drag? And if they are in girl drag, is this going to be a little bit of cheatation going on? And I'm not going to lie, I have always wondered. I remember there was one episode on Drag Race where they did actually drag up women, but it was women who were kind of masculine presenting or androgynous. They made them up in drag. And I love that episode. And the celebrities that they have for this episode are already feminine presenting, but drag has its own aesthetic that is separate from purely female impersonation. But what do you guys think about them having femi women in Drag Race? Were you here for it? Do you think it was an interesting concept, or were you just like, no, drag queen should strictly be male or male presenting people doing drag? Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, it was nice to have celebrities that I actually knew this time. Obviously Lonnie Love, she's from The View. Lonnie's whole spiel is that she wants to be on the show because she has been inspired by the drag queens on the show. And that's pretty much a running theme for her throughout this episode, which I'll get on to. Then we have Tammy Roman. She is from Basketball Wives. She's also a bit of a social media personality with her Bonnet Chronicles. She's a bit of a comedian. And I'm not going to lie, I was like, Tammy Roman? I did not see her as somebody who would be on this show. Publicity, definitely. But I'm definitely here for her. She's a great personality. I knew she was going to provide some entertainment. And her whole thing was a little bit jumbled because she said, you know, people see her as this strong woman, but she's really not. She's vulnerable, but she's come on the show to uphold the view that the world has of her, which is essentially a strong woman. I think maybe she meant to say she was coming on Drag Race to become more vulnerable, but her words got a little bit mixed up. Then they had Vanessa Williams, iconic from Ugly Betty, an iconic show, among other things, first Black Miss America. And her whole thing is that she's here to challenge herself. She's putting herself out of her comfort zone. She's doing something new and she's here for a challenge. And she says that she's here for the LGBT movement and she's here for inclusion. And like I said last episode, this whole, I'm here for the LGBT movement is, you know, it's all great, but in essence, it's just words. It's very lower tier allyship. But yeah, I was here for the black girl magic. I was definitely here for it. So I think I could definitely let the whole them being drag queens, but them also being already feminine women slide. But yeah, what did you guys think of the celebrities? Were you here for them? Were you not? Would you have preferred different celebrities? Let me know what you think. So then Rue comes in and it's pretty much the same format as last week. She introduced the mentors and she lets them know what the format is. So just a repeat of the format. We see them in quick drag, then we see them in a mini challenge, and then we see them in the main challenge, and then they lip sync for their charities. So this week, the fast track challenge was quick masculine drag. And at first I was thinking, so are they going to do boy drag this season? Because I think a lot of people have been speculating of whether there's ever going to be a RuPaul's Drag Race that has female contestants that are doing male impersonation. I've personally wondered as well, but I'm not sure if it's going to be as successful as the normal format. But obviously we know that was just for the quick challenge. But I'd be interested to know if you think that there should be a RuPaul's Drag Race where it's drag kings instead of queens. So yeah, I think the fast track challenge was definitely funny. Tammy and Vanessa were just whipping the wigs off. Like, Vanessa didn't care. She was taking out her extensions. Tammy just whipped her wig right off. They literally did not care. They didn't give a fuck about the cameras or anything. And then we have Loney. He's like, oh, my hair's just way too expensive just to be whipping off. So I'm guessing she's got a sew in and she didn't want to tear out the tracks. And yeah, that wouldn't have been a very pleasant experience. So I can understand why she kept her sewing on. Maybe she had glued it down. And you know when you're trying to rip off a glued down wig, it's just not nice. And it's just messy trying to rip off a glued down wig. You don't want to rip off your edges. So yeah, I respected Lonnie keeping her wig on, but I suspect maybe she was probably thinking, I don't want to be de-wigged. But in terms of the mini drag, I feel like they all did pretty decent. I think Vanessa definitely went with the handsome man look, definitely. Tammy, she went for the kind of raggedy, Scooby-Doo-ish look. Lonnie's guy was actually quite funny. It was kind of like that stereotypical hairy, slow guy. She really sold it. Based on just the looks of the quick drag, I think Tammy's character looked the best. Lonnie was close second, then it was Vanessa. Then their mini challenge was them to do a promo challenge in their quick drag characters, promoting a pill to stop electoral dysfunction, a little pun there. And I feel like they all did a good job, but I think the standout was definitely Lonnie. Lonnie was absolutely hilarious, and I think she definitely deserved to win that mini challenge. And at that point, I definitely thought Lonnie was the one to watch. So then Rue reveals what the main challenge is, and it's going to be a musical challenge, and it's going to be called Twerking 9 to 5, and it's a spin-off of Working 9 to 5, and it's called Twerking 9 to 5. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to do a little Rue, because I was like, so we've got 3 black contestants on the show and they're doing a musical that involves twerking, and this is a very common theme with RuPaul. For those of you who'd watched her series AJ and the Queen, when they had the black queens on the show, they were in the club twerking. So it's just like, what are you trying to say, Rue? What are you trying to say? Because I think there's definitely a running theme here, running narrative going on with RuPaul, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? Do you feel like there's no correlation here? I'm reaching a bit, or do you feel like there is a pattern going on here? A bit of a stereotype going on here? I just think it's a little suspicious. Now, obviously, because Lonnie won the mini challenge, she gets to pick who everyone's paired up with. And she pairs up herself with Trinity, Alyssa Edwards with Tammy, and Vanessa Williams with Asia. Now we see them all kind of having moments with their mentors. So Tammy reveals that her mother loved drag shows and she went to drag shows with her, and she reveals that her drag name is Miss She Need a Cocktail, which I thought was quite a funny, cheeky drag name. Then we have Trinity and Loney, and she reveals that her drag name is going to be Mary J. Ross because she's inspired by the people that she looks up to that grew up in the projects like her. And Vanessa Williams reveals that her name is going to be Vanquisha the House. And we also see Asia kind of coaching her and telling her that she needs to loosen up a bit because she is very polished, she is very prim and proper. Obviously, she was a pageant queen, and Asia says she needs to just loosen up a bit, be a bit more camp. Then we have a very overproduced section in this show. Obviously, last week we had an overproduced walk-off, and this episode we have an overproduced twerk-off. So another eye roll from me. But in terms of the twerking that we saw, Vanessa, she has a very corporate twerk, and Tammy had a little cute but tame twerk. I think she definitely wanted to do more, but I definitely think Tammy could have thrown it back a lot more than she did. I feel like she was just trying to keep it cute. She wasn't trying to wow out too much on TV. And then all of a sudden Lonnie starts crying, and she cries a lot this episode, and it just seemed very random. She was just like, I'm so inspired by you guys, and I'm just like, what is this crying meant to be doing? Is this meant to be some sort of allyship here? I don't know. I just feel like I don't really know why she was crying. But what do you guys think? So then Rue comes into the workroom to talk with the contestants. Tammy reveals that she is feeling a bit insecure about the competition. And she also reveals that the charity she's going to donate to if she was to win is this charity that deals with children who have cancer. And it's something that's close to her heart because her mother died of cancer. Then she goes to Vanessa, and she's basically alluding to the fact that, you know, she hasn't really done impressions before, so this is going to be a challenge for her. But I really didn't have any doubts about Vanessa. I thought like if Lonnie didn't win, Vanessa was probably going to win, because Vanessa was game on all the time. And she said that she was going to be donating her money to Trevor Project, an LGBT charity that deals with LGBT suicide or LGBT people who are thinking about committing suicide. And I was just like, well, finally, an LGBT charity. Not that the people that didn't choose the LGBT charity are necessarily wrong, but I think if you're coming on a show and claiming that you're an ally, I would expect that you would at least back that up by backing the LGBT charity. But that's just me. Let me know what you think about that. Because to me, that is you putting your words to action if you are truly this ally that you say you are. Then we go to Lani, and she says that she's going to be helping a charity that helps disadvantaged women get back on their feet. And that's a nice charity. That's a nice message. But then she starts crying again. And she just says that, you know, all her life she's been different. And that's why she connects with this show. Because, you know, like the people on the show, she was an outcast. And you know what? I guess there is some similarities there between black people and gay people. But then obviously there is that intersection as well. But I just don't know what her angle was. I'm not really sure if I could buy it or if I found it sweet. But what do you guys think of Lonnie's crying? And then we get a video call with Dolly. Obviously Dolly was in 9 to 5, but I just thought, even though it had significance there, it was just a bit random, to be honest. I feel like they should have just had her as a guest judge. Then we see them in rehearsal, and there's choreography this time. And Lonnie and Tammy are struggling a little bit, so we're kind of just like, oh, well, is Lonnie not going to win now? But Vanessa seems to be getting it down. She's clearly here to win. And at that point, I was kind of thinking, I think maybe Lonnie could slip up here, and this is where Vanessa's going to take the crown. And then we cut to them back into the workroom, and we get the first looks of their makeup. The first makeup look was Tammy, and her makeup was bad. Very bad. It was ashy. I don't think Alyssa Edwards knows how to do makeup for darker people. Tammy herself, she knew it was bad. She was saying, you know, oh, you know, for this competition, I'm here for the makeup, but in real life, I could never. So Tammy herself even knows that the makeup is bad. Then we see Lonnie, and when we first reveal her makeup, it hasn't been blended. So I was just like, what the hell is this? What is going on with these drag queens? How can you not know how to do other people's makeup? But then Trinity was like, oh no, I'm just baking your face. It hasn't blended yet. When we finally do see it blended, it looks good, but it does look a little bit ashy. I think maybe that was down to the foundation. It wasn't the right undertone for her. But, you know, all in all, it was pretty decent. And then we see Vanessa, and I think she was probably the best makeup out of all of them. I still would have expected better from Asia, but at least it was a succinct look, and it actually matched her skin tone. She didn't look ashy. And it basically looked like the drag version of Vanessa. Then we get the musical, and it's a live audience again. It didn't bother me this time as it did in the first episode, but I'm still not really sure what the purpose of this live audience is. I feel like they just need to cut it. But what do you guys think of the live audience? Do you not really care about it, or do you just feel like, why are they there? But in terms of the musical, I think that they all did good considering this is not their lanes. I think Vanessa definitely did the greatest, like as in like I could see her on Broadway the greatest. She was here to perform and she gave a really good performance. She got into it. She wasn't stiff. Outstanding performance. A performance that would probably get her a win in the real life show. Tammy was good, but I feel like she definitely could have gone further, being that she was a comedian. She could have gone bigger than she did. I think she was definitely holding back just a tad. Lonnie was great in terms of her movement and her performance, but I think the face was lacking. Her face wasn't really giving much personality. It kind of felt like, okay, I've got to perform, I've got to give this big performance, but then forget to perform with your face. That was the feel that I was getting. So I think purely based on the performance, Vanessa definitely took that. Then we see them on the runway, and first we see Vanessa, and her makeup is great this time. She looked absolutely beautiful. Her outfit was made really well, and she definitely had hands down the best look on the runway. Then we had Tammy, and her makeup is a lot better this time. She doesn't look as ashy as she did before, so we saw some improvement from Alyssa Edwards there. But I wasn't the biggest fan of this outfit. Obviously, that's not her fault. And then we have Lonnie. Her makeup is still a bit ashy. It looks okay, but it's still a bit ashy. And I think her outfit was definitely a bit pedestrian, in my opinion. Again, that's not necessarily her fault. So I think based on the runway, again, Vanessa took that. Asia definitely hooked Vanessa up. Then we have the critiques from the judges. And again, like last week, they go easy on them. Lonnie doesn't get rid for her lack of face. And everything's pretty positive. Some key moments, I guess, from the critiques is that Vanessa says that she likes surprising people, and throughout her career, people have constantly told her, I never knew you could do that, I never knew you could do that. And I can definitely see that because she really is a trailblazer. She really has been doing things and making iconic moments in history. Tammy, she says that, you know, she's not as strong as people think, that she gets nervous and she gets anxious. And you know what? It was interesting to see her not be this over-the-top basketball wives character all the time. I'm not sure if we are seeing the truth here now, or whether this was kind of just her rebrand or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you feel like what we saw on Drag Show was the real Tammy, or do you feel like she was just playing up to the cameras? Let me know what you think. And then of course Lonnie is crying again. And I don't know, it was just really cheesy, the whole Lonnie section. And Michelle is piping up saying, oh, we love what you stand for. You know, we love that you stand for body positivity. And I was just thinking, this whole time, nobody has even mentioned body positivity. So why are we kind of bringing it up now? And then Trinity the Tuck is in the confessional talking about, I'm so proud of Lonnie, you know, and her, you know, knowing that she's worthy and stuff like that. And I was just like, this is so nauseating. I hate this narrative of, you know, bigger black girls feeling like they're undesirable and, you know, needing people to tell them that they are. I hate the narrative. And don't get me wrong, obviously there is a lot of, you know, black females and especially black bigger females that do not feel desirable because of the way that society views them. But I just feel like they dealt with that issue in such a cheesy, overplayed narrative-y way. But what do you guys think? Then Rue cracks a little joke about who do you think should go home? And I would have lived for that, honestly. I would have lived for that drama, but obviously it was just a joke. And then we have the lip sync. Now, the lip sync was definitely giving me auntie vibes. Auntie at the barbecue, the aunties are getting down. It was a cute little lip sync. You know, Lonnie was getting it, Tammy was getting it. I'm not really sure what Tammy was doing. She took her shoes off. She was getting down on the floor. She was living her life though. She was enjoying. But I think who really took it was Vanessa. Vanessa, she has practiced this. Even before she got the call that she was going to be on the show, she had already been practicing. She was giving me Broadway. She was giving me elegance. She was giving me face. She was giving me body. She was giving me Disney princess. And it was very clear that Vanessa had won this competition, and obviously she's crowned the winner. And I'm definitely here for her being the winner, especially that the money is going to the Trevor project, which is such a great project. But I think it was funny when they cut to Lonnie's face when they revealed that Vanessa won, because you could definitely tell that Lonnie wanted to win this competition. Definitely. And, you know, Lonnie, she did a really great job, but I just think Vanessa was just more polished, was the better queen. The episode ends. Obviously, Tammy and Lonnie still get a little check for their charities. Tammy says that she's proud of herself. Lonnie, she's crying again, and she's saying that, you know, this show has given her confidence and she's inspired. And Vanessa is like, yes, I won. I vanquished the house. Love it. I'd love to see her back on TV. I've missed her on TV. She's got such a great personality. Whether it's on scripted TV or reality TV or judge somewhere, her own pageant show. Yes, I'd love to see more of Vanessa Williams, and all of them really, because as I said in the beginning, I had my reservations about it being Femi women doing a drag queen show, but I think with the contestants that they chose, it worked well, and you can definitely let it slide, and I wouldn't mind seeing it again with a different set of great women. But what is your guys' final verdict in having Femi women on the show? But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this episode. I think it's my favourite episode so far. I definitely enjoyed it more than episode 1. So on Twitter, people are living for the lineup tonight. People found Tammy and Vanessa snatching off their wigs and hair extensions really funny. People are saying that women can do drag. People are here for 3 black women. People are here for Tammy and Alyssa Edwards as a duo. People are saying that this episode redeemed last week's episode. What are we saying? What is our verdict, guys? Number 1 or number 2? It seems like women being on Drag Race has gone down a treat. Like I said, I had my reservations, but I actually prefer the women more than the male celebrities, and for the simple fact that I actually knew who these people were was also a plus. But yeah, do let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you thought of my review. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to press that notification bell so you know when the next podcast is dropping. Till next time, guys, bye.